virus. There's no cure, there's no vaccine. The only tool that we have to fight it at the moment and to support our healthcare system to respond is to give them the opportunity by buying some time. And let me tell you why that's so important. We have roughly 10 million people in our state. There is a model that anticipates that if we stay on our current trajectory, just like Italy, over 70% of our people could get infected with COVID-19. Of that 7 million people projected, about 1 million of them would need to be hospitalized. Let me give you a little perspective here. We have about 25,000 acute care beds in Michigan. Think about that. That's where we are headed currently. So stopping the spread of this virus is really the most important tool that we have right now to keep our communities safe. That means without aggressive additional measures, more people will get sick, more people will die, and our economy will suffer longer. Without additional aggressive measures, soon our hospitals will be overwhelmed. And we currently don't even have enough beds, masks, gowns, and ventilators. But if we all do our part and simply stay home, we have a shot at helping our healthcare system meet our needs. Because this disease can't spread person to person if we're not out there. So if we work together and we take this seriously, we can slow the spread of COVID-19. But right now, too many people are still out and about unnecessarily. So we must do more. Our problem has been exacerbated because we're still not getting what we need from the federal government. Last week, the president's message to our nation's governors was essentially that we're on our own to handle getting supplies. Let me just put a finer point on that. We just received our allotment from the federal government's National Strategic Stockpile. The allotment of personal protection equipment for one of our hospitals was 747 N95 masks, 204 gowns, 4,467 gloves, and 64 face shields. Now, with the exception of the gloves, that allotment is barely enough to cover one shift at that hospital. Not even a full day's worth of shifts, one shift. So while I can't do overnight what the federal government should have done over the course of months in planning, my team and I are working 24/7 to secure the things we need. So far, we have secured more than 4 million gloves, 4 million N95 masks, and thousands of gallons of hand sanitizer, thanks to Michigan businesses, Michigan companies, Michigan distilleries, and Michiganders who are pitching in. And while that's a source of pride and that is good, it is nowhere near enough. Now is the most crucial time for us to come together to protect ourselves and our families. We must work together to bend the curve. We must do more to curtail community spread so our health system has a fighting chance. Today I'm issuing a stay home, stay safe executive order for all Michiganders, and it goes into effect just after midnight tonight for at least the next 3 weeks. Without a comprehensive national strategy, we, the states, must take action. We are joining a number of other states that have started, and I anticipate many will follow. States like Ohio and Illinois, New Jersey, California, and many others, including New York. We are doing this because it is absolutely necessary to protect the health of our people. The goal here is simple: stay home, stay safe, save lives. This will be temporary. This intervention is important to buy time so we can create surge capacity in our hospitals, so we can ramp up testing and develop therapeutic drugs that may lower hospitalization and fatality rates. Please know that even with today's action, the number of cases will go up yet today, tomorrow, in the days ahead. It will take some time for us to impact this. We will be continually evaluating the data, the science, the impact on our health. It is going to take greater testing. We've made strides, but we must do more so we can understand what the challenge is that we are confronting, so we can draw conclusions based on data. It's been observed, if it were possible to wave a magic wand and make all Americans freeze in place for 14 days, 6 feet away from one another, the whole epidemic would sputter to a halt. It's on all of us to do our part. Our ability to safely lift this order will depend on factors like data on COVID-19 infections and the disease's rate of spread, depend on whether sufficient medical personnel, hospital beds, and equipment exist to meet anticipated medical need, and the state's capacity to test for COVID-19 cases and isolate infected people. I want you to know I didn't make this decision lightly. I've consulted with medical experts from across the country and right here at home, from University of Michigan to Penn to Johns Hopkins to Harvard. Dr. Caldoun and all of these experts recommended today's action, and it is clear this is what we can and must do to protect ourselves. We will all have to make significant sacrifices. By taking this action, we protect our public health and ultimately the hardship on our economy. This is the time we must come together as Michiganders. If we stay home except for essential work and essential needs, we can each be a part of making the difference here. During this time, critical services will remain open. Businesses and operations that do work, that sustains or protects life, can continue to perform that work in person. But in doing that critical work, they must take aggressive steps to minimize the spread of COVID-19 as much as possible. Your grocery stores will be open. I have checked on our whole supply chain for food, and it will be accessible. Do not panic, do not hoard. These services will remain open. Your pharmacy will too, so you can get your prescriptions. Your banks and credit unions. You can fill your car with gas. You can find the full list of critical services that will remain open at michigan.gov/coronavirus. Remember, you can go outside, get some fresh air, walk your dog. Just be smart about it and maintain that 6-foot difference between you and anyone else. And one more thing on the topic of school closures. This order means that our schools will remain closed at least through April 13th. I will have more to say on this subject soon. Now, I know this is hard. I know this is going to be disruptive, and it's certainly going to be hard on our economy as well. But our action will save lives. In the long run, doing this now shortens the time our economy suffers. When we look back at this, we've got to be able to say we did everything we could. On a personal note, I know that the lack of control can be disorienting. So I urge you to focus on what you can control. This crisis can take a toll on our mental health. Check in with family. Call your loved ones. Go for a walk. Read those books on your list, or even go outside and put your holiday lights back up. We must keep our wits about us. That means all of us. Be sensitive to how our kids are feeling. They are not immune from the stress that is going on in this environment. Check in with them and help them understand and give them the reassurance they need. Young people, I'm talking to you now. You're not immune from this. You can get this virus. And in fact, 40% of the hospitalizations and positive cases are among people 20 to 49. You can carry this without even knowing it and be unknowingly exposing others to it. If you don't take this order seriously, we will have to observe these these situations longer than we need to. So, to everyone, please be smart, follow the order. Think about the daughter who has asthma, or the grandpa that has COPD, or the sister who has MS. For the countless healthcare workers who are putting their health at risk to keep all of us cared for. And do it for yourself. We're working to prepare for the long-term economic challenges of this crisis. They will be immense. From unemployment to helping our businesses get back up on their feet. Coming back will take time and it won't be easy. We're working with the business community to help Michigan businesses and employers weather this unprecedented crisis. And we will keep working around the clock to keep Michiganders safe. Please continue to do your part. Stay home. Wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your face. Cover your mouth with your elbow or your arm. Stand 6 feet apart from one another. And if you think you should be tested for coronavirus, call on the phone. Call your healthcare provider. Our aggressive action today will help mitigate how many people get sick and how long our economy suffers. I've seen some remarkable things in this time of crisis. This is a test unlike any we've seen before. We are up to it. We will get through this. But be smart. Take every precaution and do your part. Take this seriously because it is serious. With that, I'll hand it over to Dr. Janae Caldoun.
Thank you, Governor Whitmer. We continue to see significant increases in the number of cases of COVID-19 in Michigan every day. As of this morning, as the governor mentioned, Michigan has 1,232 confirmed cases. As of this morning, we also know of 15 deaths. The cases are spread out across dozens of counties across the state, including the Upper Peninsula. It is affecting people across all ages, from the very young children to those over the age of 80. We've been preparing and responding for more than 2 months in the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and with our dedicated leaders across all of state government. We were ready to provide testing in our state lab the day the CDC said we were able to. We have more than tripled the number of tests we can run in our state lab, and we have worked to build a system across the state where other hospitals and private labs can send us their data so we can share it with the public and accurately track cases. Now we can test at least 1,000 people a day, and that number continues to grow. We are also working diligently to make sure we can improve our reporting infrastructure so that everyone can get an accurate picture of the number of negative tests that are being completed in the state. However, we know there are many people who are still unable to get a test. As a country, we did not make tests available quickly enough to be able to fully understand the scope of the problem. We know that there is community spread in several areas of the state. Michiganders have come together to implement the important social distancing measures under Governor Whitmer's direction, decreasing large assemblages and not dining in at restaurants or going to bars. Now's the time, however, where we must do more, and we knew this day would potentially come. If we do nothing, very rough models estimate that the number of cases in Michigan could increase 5-fold in the next week. We are acting right now to decrease that number. If everyone stays at home, if they only leave their home for essential reasons and practice the appropriate social distancing, we will slow the spread of the disease. I'm also a practicing emergency medicine physician, and I've had some very heartfelt conversations with my colleagues across the country over the past couple of weeks. There are ICUs across the country and here in the state of Michigan that are full of dozens of people with COVID-19, all of them on ventilators. Emergency departments are needing to pick and choose who gets to go on a ventilator and who does not. People who were previously young and healthy are now fighting for their lives. Our frontline staff in the hospitals and clinicians are working tirelessly around the clock, taking care of patients with COVID-19 while keeping up with the usual demands of a busy emergency department and a busy intensive care unit. We have to make sure that our hospitals can continue to do this very important work and that they are not overwhelmed with patients who are severely sickened from this disease. These proactive public health measures are aggressive, but they are temporary. And if we all come together to implement them now, I'm confident we will slow the spread of COVID-19 here in Michigan. With that, I will turn it back over to Governor Whitmer.
Thank you, Dr. Calhoun. Be happy to open it up for some questions from the press.
Can you speak to how this effective executive order will be enforced?
All right. Well, there's the announcement. All right. Let me click that there so we don't get a bunch of feedback and stuff now. But all right. So you can't leave your house now, except for essential reasons. Now, my question is, we're going to have a list of essential reasons, I suppose. What would be essential reasons? Going to the grocery store to get water, or what if I went to the grocery store to get soda? Is that considered essential? And water's essential and soda's not. Bread and cheese might be essential, where candy bar and cake might not be. I don't know. And if we're going to have things, where you say essential, things have to be essential, then you're going to have to instruct, because I'm assuming that you're going to have a lot of people out there now policing this. Hence, what we heard earlier from Alabama with tanks and helicopters, and we got the National Guard being activated all over the place. I'm assuming that that's what's happening, is that they're going to be out there policing all this. Well, I hope that all of them are on point as to what their job really is, and that is to keep people at home except for essential reasons, and not that when people are out there they should be beat with a baton and drugged back to their house or thrown in the back of a paddy wagon. Okay, I'm just saying, the number one thing that is going to take us out is going to be our panic and our reaction to everything, because we are all victims of the human condition, no matter where you're at. And with that being said, that was the most seriousness that has ever been on any of my shows in the history of me being on radio. I don't do serious. So with that being said, now I'm going to shake it off. Okay, I'm going to shake it off, everybody. We just did our official duty to the world by broadcasting that for our listeners that now understand what's happening and they're prepared. So that being said, now I'm going to quarantine D-Unit, KP Ross, and Mad Martin from the UK with just a few questions, the quarantine edition, on the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space. Okay, shake it off. Let's laugh, people. Let's laugh.
Answer just a few questions.
All right, everybody, it is time to answer just a few questions, the quarantine edition. We have D-Unit, Mad Martin, KP Ross, and myself. The Alien X lines are open 313-444-8919. I don't know how many more people I can add to that line, though. But let's go ahead, since we're all quarantined, and ask some very appropriate questions for the times we're living in today. Are you ready?
Go, bring it.
All right, here we go. The year is 2025. The entire planet has been engulfed in a state of panic and fear ever since the latest designer virus caused by pandemic just 2 years earlier. The Miley Cyrus virus came in like a wrecking ball People have been showing symptoms of the infection, like random uncontrollable twerking and public masturbation. It's been reported all over the U.S. states. The U.S. governors were removed from office. They have already been removed from office and being replaced. They've been placed in a loony bin after their overreaction to the coronavirus pandemic of 2020, replacing them with toasters and small farm animals. So no help there. The only option is to self-quarantine. You must get as far away from the virus and the infected as you can. But you can't be all alone in this. Who will you take with you to be quarantined with? Name 4 of your friends and family members to get locked in with for the next 3 months. Now, this was planned for just D, but now we've got 3 of you, so really we can only add probably 1 for each of you. So who are you going to bring along with you, KP Ross?
I'm definitely bringing my wife.
Wife, yeah. Good answer. That way you don't get grounded.
Well, with him bringing his wife, I'm definitely not going to bring my wife because
Whoa!
I'm going to look at this quarantine.
You're
as a
grounded, dude. You
vacation.
can't run away.
Okay.
Okay.
So, who am I going to bring with me? You know what? And I hope this doesn't go in a weird direction with you. Who knows? But you know what? I'm going to bring my guitar playing duo partner. I'm going to bring Rob with me.
Rob.
Because I'm going to want to do something.
All right. And Mad Martin, who are you bringing with you?
Oh, now you see, the options are open, isn't it? The options are open. You see, you need you need you need entertainment. To as much
Choose
as
the form of the
goes.
destroyer. I'm sorry.
It's true. Who will I bring? Who will I bring? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna bring John LeBang.
John LeBang. All right.
Entertainment.
All right. So those are the people that are going. Now, who is going to be in charge of finding and protecting what supplies? Now, I'm going to ask each one of you your opinion on this. You don't have to all agree. Okay, so you have to say who is going to be in charge on that group of the following items. So you've got yourselves, KP's wife, Rob, and John LeBang also. So, who will be in charge of the food, KP Ross?
That would be my wife.
Wife. D, who will be in charge of the food?
I'm going to go with me.
All right. And Mad Martin, who will be in charge of the food?
Who will be in charge of the food? Oh, Struth. Is there a note there? Obviously, that there's. No.
Dude, I know you guys eat across the pond, man. So
I'm gonna go with D.
Jay LeBang?
No, D. Gonna go with D.
D Unit?
Yeah, man.
All right. So, who will be in charge of the water? KP Ross.
Who would be in charge of the water?
Out of those, there's 6 people in the room.
Right. Are you in the room?
No, I'm not in the room.
Well, you suck.
I'm like the dungeon master. I'm the narrator.
Dungeon master.
I'm the narrator. I'm Morgan Freeman.
I'm gonna take myself out of that. I don't want to be in charge of nothing. But
Awesome.
this is good. Yeah. Let's put Matt on charge of the water.
Martin. All right. Who's in charge of the water, D?
I'm going to second that one.
Martin. All right. And Martin, who's in charge of the water?
It's gonna be me then, isn't it?
Yep. All right. That's good. Because you're not from Mexico, so we can trust the water.
That's right.
You're not from
Montezuma.
Flint, so you're okay.
Not from Flint. Exactly. There we go. That's awesome.
That's right.
You know what? We actually have another call. I just tried to connect to the other call. It's like locking up. Yep. It's not going to happen. So I'm not going to try. I'm not going to risk dropping you guys to try it again. It's not accepting this next call. All right. So who's in charge of the medical supplies?
I'll be in
Keep
charge of that, I suppose.
KP Ross. Who's in charge of the medical
I'm not
supplies?
scared of blood.
D Unit.
If he's not afraid of blood, I'm down.
KP.
You know?
And Mad Martin. Who's in charge of the medical supplies?
It's going to be KP Ross.
KP Ross. Boy, we got a good team going here, man. We're all figuring this out. Okay, real quick. Who's in charge
Like
of the
Survivor,
weed?
but different.
Who's in charge of the weed?
Holy shit! You're not in.
I-
You're not in this D unit.
D Unit.
I don't know if that's a good thing, though. To be honest with you.
That's probably the best thing in the world to happen right there, bro.
If necessary, he'll rash it, but let's hope it's not.
I will take full responsibility of the herb intake.
Okay, so that's two. That's two. All right, what do you say, Martin? Charge of weed.
We'll stick D on double unit. I don't touch the devil's lettuce.
Yeah,
So,
right. You got 3 for D on it. We're almost like perfectly in line here. This is great. All right, so who is in charge? This is the most important one. You ready? Who's in charge of the toilet paper?
Oh,
Remember, you got to protect it too. Who's in charge of the toilet paper? Because that. Remember, we're now on the toilet paper standard.
So Rob hasn't gotten anything yet, so let's put him in charge of that, huh?
Rob gets the TP. All right, he's in charge of the TP. What do you say, D?
you see, I know Rob, man. Rob likes to take some master power dumps sometimes, dude, and sometimes at the unappropriate times. So I'm thinking that he would be the hoarder in toilet paper. So I'm going to go with LeBang on this one.
LeBang. LeBang
I'm
in
going to
the
go with
TP.
LeBang on this one.
And Mad Martin.
Yeah, man, I'm going to go with John LeBang. He's
LeBang.
look after the TP.
All right, so
World currency.
we're pretty close to all in agreement on this. Pretty close. So, by the way, we're still on question number 1, folks. Where will you?
I know.
Where will you go to get away from the people and the infection? Will it be A, your basement, B, an abandoned bank vault, C, the empty toilet paper section of the local Walmart, or D, a government-mandated lactation room at an office building? And go. Won't be nobody in any of those places.
Oh, is there no wild card with this?
There is a wild card to this portion of this question.
Oh,
There's a wild card answer. Anyone you can choose the wild card
See,
answer.
I would be afraid to choose the wild card. Can we make up our own answer on this one?
Yeah, you can make up your own answer on this. Where do you think that you could hold up at?
I'm thinking inside the mothership.
The mothership.
very good, very good.
I've got a newly remodeled basement with a fully stocked bar, so I'm gonna stick it out in my basement.
In the basement. That's
Yes, sir.
A. Okay, and Mad Martin?
I would like to retract my previous answer,
Okay.
and I want to go to his basement.
All right. Two of them going over to
Let him
KP Ross's
answer
basement.
first. My bad.
Mad Martin, are you going to get an airplane or a boat or a canoe and come over here and jump into KP Ross's basement as well?
Yeah, I'll jump in KP Ross's basement.
All right, there we go. We're all hanging out in KP's basement. All right. So the wild card answer that none of you chose was we would go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all of this to blow over.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Now,
I thought it was going to be something about a Turkish prison.
Right. Right.
and that, sir, is the secret word. I see you hit the secret word every day. Secret word was Turkish prison.
Are you, for real?
For real. Bonus question for this is...
Dick, what are you doing?
The bonus question is, aloe vera added to what liquid creates hand sanitizer?
Eagles lube.
I didn't even think of that, but I'll take that.
I believe that would be alcohol.
Yeah, that's correct, sir. Alcohol. We're going to get that straight. The bonus question goes to KP Russ because he answered first. But if it's just Igor's Lube and alcohol, that could do it too, but you definitely don't want to put it back in the Igor's Lube bottle because you might use it for Igor's Lube after the alcohol goes in, and that will definitely change date night. I'm just saying.
That would be one fiery burning penis. Buddy.
That would be a problem, yes. And we're moving on to...
Question number 2.
Question number 2. two is, so, you have all gathered your supplies and gear. You have reached your safe house for the next 3 months. You see that the entrances have all been boarded up from the inside, so you and your group scale the wall and onto the roof. After gaining access to the building through the roof, you quickly discover that you are not the only people with this idea. The place already has a group held up inside. At first, both groups tell each other that they have to leave, but come to an understanding that there's plenty of room for everybody to stay while maintaining suggestive safe social distancing practices. Let's get acquainted with your new roommates, shall we? First, hailing from Romania, the Romanian region known as Transylvania, the brain-stealing champion of the world, star of stage, screen, and nightmares, entrepreneur, blue tycoon, Igor! And second, from the erotic dreams of men and women alike, former football player, actor, entertainer, and aspiring breast model, Terry Crews!
I knew it.
Third, the amazing Master Tool Corporation, Fly By Night Industries, has entrusted who? Me, to show you the handiest and the dandiest kitchen tool you've ever seen. And don't you want to know how it works? It's the Sludge-O-Matic. That's right, folks, legendary comedian Gallagher. Fourth, straight from the coattails of a musical genius and harmfully stabbed into your ears like a broken wine glass, the Beetle Crusher herself, Yoko Ono. And finally, he comes from a long line of world-famous water skiers, star of internet videos and local news fluff stories all over the globe, still super glued to his water skis, and conveying a look of terror, I give you Chippy number 5, the water skiing squirrel.
I'm glad there's no owls here.
I had actually thought about Igor having an owl on his shoulder, and his shirt says we do it better in... I forgot the city all of a sudden. In Cleveland. Do it better in Cleveland. So, now we've got question number 2 set up. Here we go. Now, with the new group in mind, reassess some of the roles being played here. A, who should never be in charge of the food?
Who should never
be in charge of the food? KP Ross.
Oh.
I should go different orders. That way, different people get to answer first.
Right.
Let's start different. Bad Bart, you go first. Bad Bart. Who should never be in charge of the food?
Who should never be Igor? You don't know where his hands are going to be.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's true, man. He's a slippery guy. D-Unit, who should never be in charge of the food?
The squirrel.
The squirrel.
Yeah, that's where my head's at.
That's true. Well, you're both, all of you are wrong, because it's Gallagher. He would smash all of it with the Sludge-O-Matic.
Then the damn squirrel would eat it all.
There.
He can't get to it. He's super glued to his water skis.
This is true.
Next one would be, who would be in charge of security? Out of that new group, who would be in charge of security? Let's start this time with D-Unit.
Okay, so we got the scroll, we got Igor, Yoko.
Yep.
What was the other one?
Terry Crews.
And then the other one's taken. So, security.
What?
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. Oh, I got the music stopped here. I can't let that. There we go. All right, so Terry Crews. What do you say?
That's the obvious one, Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. Matt Barton?
Yeah. For $10, I'll go with Terry Crews, please.
The answer is Terry Crews, because just standing in the doorway wearing only a thong while greased up with Igor's lube, pecs jumping, would be enough to keep most threats at bay. Plus, the big black guy will keep away all the racists. Wow.
Wow.
And C, that's great. And C, who would be charge of making sure everything goes smoothly? Let's start with KP Ross.
I believe that'd be Igor's Lube.
That'd be Igor. Okay, so Bad Martin.
Oh, who would make sure everything goes smoothly? Yeah, well, yeah, it has to be
Emphasis on smooth.
Yeah. What'd you say there, Bad Martin?
Yeah, it's got to be Igor.
Igor and D-Unit.
I pronounced it Igor.
Go with Igor.
And, of course, the answer is Igor of IgorsLube.com. Look for it like Igor's Lube on Facebook or at www.igorslube.com. Get some today and get some tomorrow. And D, who should you eat first? Start with Matt Martin. Who of those people should we have to eat? We got to eat somebody, right? Who are we going to eat first?
Yeah, oh Christ. See, half of me wants to say Yoko Ono, but half of me doesn't want to know what she tastes like.
That's very good. Very good.
Chippy the squirrel wouldn't go very far, but so. Decisions. Yeah, you see, you need Terry Crews because he apart from entertainment value, he's also security. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Eat first. Yoko Ono.
Yoko Ono.
Yeah. Collateral damage.
KP Ross.
See ya.
Exactly. I just don't want to listen to her.
It's not so much listening. She's
Not understanding what she's going to say anyway. But
That's
she's
right.
Talking all the time. If we're out of food and somebody's got to go, she's the first ones to go.
yeah,
Yoko?
yeah, and on top of that, she's one ugly woman. You got to get that out of your eye holes.
So we're all in agreement with Yoko Ono.
Oh, absolutely.
While at first instinct it would be to eat Chippy the water skiing squirrel, it would be most beneficial to remove Yoko from the dynamic before she breaks up this group also. And since no one has eaten Chinese food since the great coronavirus panic of 2020, Yoko being Japanese is therefore deemed perfectly okay for human consumption. Besides, Chippy is much more entertaining, and we all need to be entertained.
There you go.
There
Like
you
that?
Cool.
All right.
There we go.
Bonus question is, if these
Bonus question.
the bonus question is, if these members of the group were holding, or if they were all holding back and hoarding something, what would it be? What do you think Igor would be holding and withholding and not giving to people? KP Ross.
What would he be holding in?
What do you think he would hoard and keep from the rest of the group?
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper for
Yeah,
Igor.
Yeah.
D-Unit. What do you think Igor would be hoarding?
I want to say he'd be hoarding his own lube because he's going to want it all for himself. But I'm thinking,
He really likes to give
I'm
that
just-
out.
yeah.
In fact, the first time we met him, he was giving you some loot.
I know, but now that the supplies are going to be limited, he might hold on to them.
You never know.
I'm gonna go with Kleenex.
Kleenex. That's a good one, because, okay. All right.
Yeah. Oh
Matt-
no, wait. White tube socks.
White tube
White
socks.
tube socks.
Wow. That's a visual right there. With blue stripes.
With blue stripes. Yep.
I don't know why I saw blue stripes, but... Matt Martin, what is he hoarding over there?
Bruce. What will he be holding? Or hoarding even? What will be the options that he will be hoarding?
Oh, this is a makeup. You have to come up with an answer for this one.
Yeah.
This one's an essay answer.
Hoarding the remotes to the TV because he's going to be a swine.
That's good. He just wants to watch Frankenstein over and over again. All right, so the real answer is Igor would be hoarding a large collection of abnormal brains harvested from millennials during the Illuminati's Great Tide Pod experiments of 2018.
He's welcome to them. That's fine.
That's right. Yes, you can have them.
So, what would Terry Crews be hoarding, D-Unit?
Oh, for the love of God. I don't know. Cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers. Okay.
Cheeseburger.
KP Ross, what is Terry Crews hoarding?
Steroids.
Good answer, but no. Mad Martin.
He's going to be holding the Eagles lube so he can lube himself up and look super shiny.
Oh my God, dude, that's almost exactly what I wrote. I said Terry Crews, Igor's lube. He's got to stay slick and shiny.
Way to go there across the pond there, buddy.
Wow, good one,
He gets the extra credit on that test.
Yeah, he dialed right in on that. Beautiful job, man.
Good job out of you.
Ka-ching.
Now, Mad Martin, follow up on this. What would Gallagher be hoarding?
You see, what would Gallagher be holding?
He's got to have all of it, man. He's got to have all of it. Nobody else can have any. He's got to have it all. For future, you know what I'm saying? For the future.
Oh, Struth.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Don't know. Sorry, I'm not a blank for this one, I'm afraid.
KB Ross, what is Gallagher hoarding?
Gallagher is hoarding watermelon.
Watermelon?
Yeah.
That's a great answer. D-Unit, what do you say?
You want to know, I was going to jump ahead of Martin and say watermelon. So I'm going with watermelon, too.
Both of you would be absolutely correct. Watermelons! Absolutely. Gallagher's hoarding watermelon.
What else is he going to smash with that big old hammer of his?
That's right. Now, real quick.
Well, I was going to say hammers at first. Okay.
Yeah.
However, if he had the watermelon, he can use Yoko Ono and smash the watermelon.
Smash her melon.
If he didn't have a hammer.
There you go. That'd be good. Hold up your tarp. Don't want to get any Yoko Ono on you.
That's right.
Oh my God, that almost sounds like her and her other name. Yoko Ono on you. Anyway, sorry, that was bad. Anyway, now real quick, the unit, what would you hoard and keep from everybody?
Oh boy.
The weed.
The weed. See, I knew we should have put him in charge of the weed.
Right?
We're all out, sir. You've only had it for 7 minutes, D. Martin, what are you hoarding?
Each their own.
Oh, what am I hoarding? Struth.
5, 4.
All the cheesy snacks.
The cheesy snacks. Ain't gonna get on my cheesy poos. So you got all the snacks, man. You got all the cheesy poofs over there. Okay. And what are you hoarding, KP Ross?
I am hoarding ammo.
Ammo.
I am hoarding ammo. It's all mine.
Okay. That's cool.
It's all mine.
That's cool. That means that you just entered the rooms first.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool.
Because I got all the ammo.
Your bunk is closest to the door. Just saying. That's the way we're going to do that. All right.
Right.
Absolutely. That works for me. That's cool. So that brings us all the way up to...
Question number 3.
Question number 3. Question number 3. Things are really going to get disturbing now, folks.
More disturbed than an Eagles.
Now they're going to get disturbing. That's what's messed up about everything.
Yeah. It's day 29. Just one day left, and you hear a knock on the door. Terry Crews runs over to the door to see who it is. He slips because he's covered in lube, falls, and gets knocked unconscious. Chippy can't run because he's still glued to his skis. Igor nervously lets out a giant post-fried Yoko fart. Even after being killed and eaten, she's still clearing the room and stinking up the place. You decide to open the door. Not only do you see who it is, but wait a minute. Not see who it is, but to clear the air. Oh, wait. That's right. You open the door not only to see who it is, but also to clear the air because everyone's eyes are now watering from the Yoko fart. A hulking man with a thick beard is asking for a place to stay for the night. The group says no, but you convince them to let the stranger in. You take him to the back room, tell him that you have found a way to kill the virus and make a person immune at the same time. He is eager to get started. You tell him to disrobe and lie face down on a table. You grab a very girthy and lengthy candle. Dipping it in Igor's lube, you ram it deep into his bunghole.
Wow.
He screams in pain as you light the wick. You tell him that he must leave it there burning until it melts down and gets short enough for him to clap his cheeks together and put out the flame.
Dude, what is wrong with you?
No, I know.
He continues to grunt and moan as you leave and lock the door behind you. Why have you done this to this stranger? Is it A, you believe he is infected and you thought you saw something on the news about this and thought that it might help? B, you're just stalling until Terry wakes up from his little floor nap. C, you have 5 candles and only 4 candle holders. Duh! Or D, you recognize the stranger as a former cellmate that tried to rape and murder you during your sentence at a Turkish prison for smuggling. Let's start with you, D unit.
Wow.
I'm going to go with D.
D, it's the Turkish prisoner that tried to rape and murder you in a Turkish prison when you were there for smuggling. KP
Remember
Ross.
that? I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That happened.
That is disturbing.
Yes, isn't it?
This is disturbing.
You know the whole thing, the fact that he can come up with an idea like that is like, seriously, dude, what happened last night? What did you eat before you went to bed? Because I don't ever want to eat it.
Wow. I'm going to have to go with D as well because that's the most outrageous answer.
All right.
Yeah.
Mad
Yeah,
Martin, what do you say?
Is there a wild card?
There is a wild card.
Oh, kaboom!
Oh!
You want the wild card answer?
Yeah, I'm going to go with wild card answer.
The wild card answer is you have been locked in a room for 29 days. You really have nothing else to do at this point.
Sounds feasible. I'm going to go with that.
Nothing else to
for a
do
thousand.
but
Handle.
anal rape a stranger with a Igor lubed up candle. Wow.
Essentially, yes.
Wow.
But just Matt Martin, he's the only one that chose that. Everybody else recognized him as the Turkish prisoner and is taking out vengeance on someone who tried to rape and murder him. The only person that is just torturing a random stranger is Matt Martin.
Matt Martin, yeah.
Yes. To be clear.
You are a sick, sick man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Are we all happy now that all our friends and family that we brought along with us are just standing in the background, not actually participating in any of this?
I know, like, why do we have to bring somebody?
To scare you at the beginning. And now your bonus question is, quarantine has been lifted and everyone is spilling out into the streets. The businesses are open again and the world is going back to work soon. Now that everything is open and running again, but you have some time before you go back to work, what are you going to do first now that you've just gotten out of 30 days of quarantine? KP Ross.
What am I going to do first?
Everything's open. You can do anything you want. Everything's open.
That is a hard question to answer.
I'm going to take my wife to our favorite Mexican restaurant.
I'm out.
Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Not a Chinese restaurant, huh?
Not a Chinese restaurant.
No.
Too soon.
No.
Oh, right. No Chinese restaurant.
Oh, it's too soon.
Matt Martin, what are you going to do?
Well, in light of what I just did in the previous answer, I'm going to open my own dungeon and invite people in there so I can do pretty much the same to everywhere else and have some sort of virus of my own so I can do it all over again.
Wow. Wow. He's going to mutate the Miley Cyrus virus. Matt Martin's all like, I came in like a... Wow.
Wow.
Well, guess what, folks? It is now time for lightning strikes.
Yes, lightning strikes.
Lightning strikes. I'm going to ask all three of you to answer, and then I'm only going to hit the lightning or the buzzer one time. Cheers or the Winchester?
Winchester.
Winchester.
go with Jester.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's got heavy doors. It's got that fake gun that is actually not fake.
Right.
Alien Stone has had the measles or the chicken pox.
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to go with chicken pox. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to go with chicken pox.
Chicken pox. Chicken pox. Had the socks on my hands and everything, but not the white sock that after Igor had it.
No. It's not white anymore. It's kind of yellowish.
Yeah, it's crispy.
Ooh, the fact that you guys know the color and what it's like is just disturbing.
What is the actual synonym for the word sick? Awesome, amazing, totally rad dude, or diseased? What is
Totally rad, dude.
What is the actual synonym for the word sick? Awesome, amazing, totally rad dude, or diseased?
Diseased.
Diseased. Very good, man. Very good. It's like the old school when people said, "Hey, man, that's really bad." He goes, "I thought that meant good. Only when it is." So, fill in the blank. If life gives you the coronavirus, find someone with blank disease and get drunk.
Lyme.
Lyme disease. Very, very good. Swine flu or bird flu?
Wasn't it the bird flu?
Swine flu or bird flu? Rest of you? The answer is yes. Either one of them. Both are fine choices, sir. Now that comes with 2 sides and a salad. What kind of dressing with that?
Caesar.
Number 6 is fried Yoko Ono. Tastes like chicken or bitch?
Bitch.
Is that chicken or bitch? Yoko Ono.
Oh,
From the freezer to your microwave. Yoko Ono. All right, so the Miley Cyrus virus, created in a military laboratory or the VIP room of a Los Angeles strip club?
Option number B.
Yes,
Very good, very good, very good. The viruses and germs are actually so large you can see them with the naked eye. What is more likely to survive a biological extinction event? Cockroaches, alligators, or Keith Richards?
Keith Richards.
Keith Richards.
Very good, very good, very good.
Isn't he like 1,000 years old?
On this life, Keith Richards went to a psychic and said, what was I in the previous life? And they said, Keith Richards.
Right.
What would you rather not watch during your quarantine? Outbreak or The Stand?
I like the stand.
I like the stand.
I like the stand, yeah.
Sick SOB.
You're going with The Stand?
No, I like the stand, so I'm going to go with Outbreak.
You're going with Outbreak?
Yeah.
Which one do you not want to watch?
Right. I like the stand.
Not want to watch. Outbreak.
See, like, I've never seen Outbreak, or I haven't seen it in a long time, or I've only seen parts of it, and it's on, like, Netflix now. I don't know if that's kind of inappropriate or not, but I liked it. I was actually going to watch it later. So I'm going to go with the other one.
Outbreak. All right. Well, the answer, in my opinion, is The Stand, but mostly because it's too flippin' long.
It is pretty long, yes.
It is long.
But then again, we're quarantined for a whole month, so I guess it'd be all right. You know, we just keep
That'll
taking
kill
breaks.
3 days, you know.
You know, whatever. We'll do all that. That's what I can say. And number 10, true or false? Gallagher complains on the stage about the watermelons not splattering very far after smashing them with the sludge-o-matic. True or false?
True.
True, he says.
True.
Matt Martin?
True.
I'm going to go with everyone else. True.
It is absolutely true. On stage, he has complained in the past that when he hits a watermelon with sludge-o-matic, it does not splatter and go very far. Now, everybody, it's time for the after strike. The after strike is a follow-up to the 10th Lightning Strikes question. What did Gallagher say was the reason the watermelons were not splattering very far, and what did he do to fix the issue, enabling him to start launching juicy chunks of the popular garden fruit, reaching record distances?
I should know this, and I don't.
You don't know. That's the wrong answer.
I don't know.
Mad Martin, what is your answer, sir?
Oh, Struth, no, see, Gallagher is not something we have over here, so...
Oh, so you're playing the Brit card.
I'm playing the Brit card, yeah.
They were too fresh, weren't they? Or something? I don't know.
All of you are wrong, wrong, and wrong. He said it was the rind on the watermelon, and the way he fixed it was he brought out a peeled watermelon with no rind on it, and yes, it launched to the back row. What a waste of food. That's why you don't put him in charge, right?
That's right.
And that has been Just a Few Questions. All right, everybody. This is Alien Stone. Thanks for tuning in and being a part of the Attack of the Monday Morning Magcast from outer space. We laughed, we joked, we got serious, we got live confirmation of stay at home, man. Stay at home, but you're not allowed to leave. This is for a real reason, and I guess they determine the real reason. I don't know. So anyway, 12 noon Eastern every Sunday for Inside the Mothership on these fantastic stations. And then 9 a.m. Eastern every Monday morning for the Attack of the Monday Morning Magcast from outer space. I'm Alien Stone. Until next time, wash your hands, wash your ass. Don't hoard the toilet paper. And whatever you do not mix alcohol with Igor's lube. Because date night would be ruined. Peace out, everybody.